You ever start building something big and then you immediately think, oh, I can't finish this before when I want to finish it. So you build something smaller and then you get that wrong and wrong again. And then finally you build something that you're happy with and then you realize, yeah, this took just as much time as the large thing that I put off. So anyways, that's what happened today. We're building a staff building that I just kept rebuilding because I have way too high expectations when it comes to what I build. But anyways, hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade. I hope all of you are doing well today. And as I said, for today we're building a staff building. But before we actually get into building, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button because it does help out a lot. And if you want to see more, of course, subscribing helps out a lot. And now let's see what I wasted a lot of time on. When it comes to the staff building, as I said, this was supposed to be a small build just because I wanted to have 2 videos this week. Well, actually 2 videos last week, but I couldn't make it because, yeah, the staff building, I think I had 3 attempts at building it. All of the attempts were quite different in how they appeared. One was actually like a sort of round tube-like thingy. The other one looked kind of like a book. That's the closest thing that I can relate it to. And then this building, I'm actually happy with, of course, because otherwise I wouldn't show it to you guys because that's how the internet works. I'm only showing things that I am very happy with and proud with, so I'm not showing any of the previous attempts. Although I think that they would probably be fine, but it's just not up to my standards, and that means that it can burn in hell. But yeah, so I forever basically, I just ignore staff. I completely forget about them. There's probably like 50 staff members running around Eve 2 because anytime I build a new area, it's like, oh yeah, the animals need more staff, and I just plop in like 10 more. I probably shouldn't do that. I probably should also just build more staff areas, but I just forget. To me, staff are like just, they're there and they kind of just blend in with the guests, so I don't really know how many guests I have, or how many staff I have. Again, like they blend in with the guests so well that it's just, how many do I have? Oh, I have 50. Oh no, now it's 60 because I built something completely new and I have the memory of a goldfish, so I keep adding more staff. However, Eve Zoo runs very smoothly. The staff are completely knackered because they don't have staff areas, so they have to constantly go back to that one area that I built, and yeah, then I demolished the other staff area that we had when I built the dolphin and sea turtle aquarium habitat, which is the previous video. Again, I should do the good YouTuber thing of linking it, but I'm a shit YouTuber, I keep forgetting things. Again, I have the memory of a goldfish. Yes, it has happened that I looked up a word just because I wanted to get it right before I start a voiceover, and then forget it like 5 seconds after, and the entire voiceover I'm just like trying to move around and avoid that word because I forgot. But anyways, besides just the staff building talking point, I had actually like something else I wanted to talk about. And how does this relate to the video? Well, I built one thing with it, and that's recolorable flowers. Because, well, we don't have them in Plant Zoo. Well, we have them, but it's like, it's 2. I'm not counting the like basic planter flower, like the flat one. Do I ever use those flowers actually as flowers? No, I turn them upside down because I want that like brown, like sort of sandy, pebble-like structure or surface so that I can differentiate it from the mulch things. And I actually do that in today's video because for some reason, this staff building needed a waterfall. Asden would be very proud. But yeah, this staff building was just, it was close to the pot. There was no way that I was going to be able to hide it. So then it was just like, let's make it pretty because guests are going to see it. And so it's pretty. I think I will probably do this with a lot more staff buildings because I don't like building like very secluded things. I like just pretty bam in your face things, which is also the reason why there's no monorail in Eve Zoo, because it would throw off that very, very delicate balance of chaos that I've built up. But anyway, back to the flowers, because I built a planter with flowers. That's all that the flower talk will relate to the video. But yes, we don't really have like the basic bitch flowers, as I call them. Like these flowers will go to Starbucks and will get a, what is it? Pumpkin spice? I've never actually had a pumpkin spice like coffee or anything, actually just anything with pumpkin spice. Maybe it's just because it's not a thing in the Netherlands or not as much of a thing in the Netherlands, but yeah. The flowers that I'm going to be talking about, they would get like pumpkin spice and, you know, wear Uggs and just, you know, be complete basic bitches. I should move on from the basic bitch thing, but yeah, I would very much like to just have my basic flowers. Like right now in Planet Zoo, we have a lot of sort of more exotic flowers. And while that's all fine and dandy, I like my exotic flowers, I want my roses, my tulips, my narcissus flowers. I probably didn't say that name correctly, but if you ran spell check or grammar check on my videos, it would just die from overworking. But anyways, I just want my basic flowers. As I said, roses, tulips, narcissus, hyacinths, which I think are a more Dutch thing, but I want them. Sunflowers, like especially sunflowers, because you can kind of mimic other flowers with the flowers that we have right now, but sunflowers, I would say, are an exception to that because they're just such a unique shape. And to me, it's always baffling that we don't have any of these like basic flowers, maybe like also dandelions and such. Like I want my basic ass flowers. I want my lavender. Is lavender a basic flower? Or is it more of like the hipster flower? Because there is a difference between hipster flower and basic flower. Or flowers. Yeah, hipster flour. It's what you make sourdough bread out of or anything. I have never baked bread and I don't intend to start that anytime soon. But anyway, so to me it's always just baffling that like, oh, we get these like really exotic, strange flowers from all across the world. And we have no rosebush. Well, we have a rosebush, but it's not recolorable, which just so many flowers right now are recolorable. Or at least we as humans can't keep our grimy little hands off of flowers and breeding them to have so many colors, especially like roses and tulips. Like come to the Netherlands in spring, or well, there's this one place called the Keukenhof, which is basically just a huge flower garden, a lot of tulips, but come to that place in spring and it will make a pride flag proud or jealous with the amount of colors. Like flowers come in all colors, all sizes and shapes right now. And then you look at Planet Zoo and you have nothing. Well, you have your exotic orchids, which you can recolor. Like so far, the South America pack, like the South America item pack, I would say, because for some reason, I still have South America animal pack in my mind. So my brain is just like, say South America item pack, because for some reason, I still want to talk about the South America animal pack, which was really on my hope list for spring, but then they gave us a wetlands pack, and I'm fine with the wetlands pack. It's a weird tangent that my brain wants to go on. But yeah, when it comes to just flowers, only the South America pack gave us like really recolorable flowers. It gave us 2 sets, and that's it. Am I saying, oh, I want a basic bitch flower pack? No, because I don't think that's worth it to just have a pack completely dedicated to flowers. But I would very much like to see just like a rose bush. Or like just a patch of tulips or other flowers. Of course, recolorable, because we humans have bred the fuck out of them so that now they come in all colors. Again, tulips come in such a wide variety of colors right now, and if you go to the Keukenhof in spring, all of the colors there will make a pride flag jealous or a rainbow jealous. Because, oh god. Or like a color scheme ring. Did anyone ever like, well, this is probably a normal thing, but any time where, yeah, I think any time that like a year started in like high school and was like the like art class, every year I think I had to make like a color scheme ring of like what's the opposite colors and such. I don't know why I had to make those every year. I think every year. Yeah, I think for like 3 years, every time we started the year in art class, I had to make one of those like color scheme rings. Don't know why. I think they just, well, teenagers are dumb, so yeah, we would definitely forget them, but why every year? Also, yes, I definitely hid in like art class or like the art class classroom during break because I don't like large crowds. Back 400 teenagers in a room the size of a tennis court, and it's just going to be loud, and just I didn't like that, so I hid in the art class classroom. And yes, I definitely made the excuse of like, oh, I have to work on this like project. I think by the end of the year, the teacher was just like, he's just like, he basically lives here. Nobody's surprised that I was the weird kid. Like, I was the weird nerd in high school. Well, nerd, not really nerd, like, well, nerd. I did have like, had the pimples, I had the braces, I had the chunky glasses. I didn't know how to dress or do my hair. I basically look like a homeless nerd. I come to the realization of that right now, of like, yeah, I definitely looked homeless because I basically didn't know how to dress, which meant that I had a lot of like oversized baggy clothes because also I wanted to disappear in my clothes basically. And yeah, face wise, it was just like all of like the qualifications of a nerd or a geek. Pimples, very just annoying braces, which I think made me learn to not smile with my teeth. Because in a lot of pictures, even to this day, if I smile, I don't smile with like my teeth showing, just because I learned it from like a young age of like, yeah, if I smile with my teeth, you can see my braces. And for some weird reason, I was the dumb kid when it came to braces, because you could have basically these like colored like sort of elastics with your braces. Don't be dumb. Don't pick the white ones because they will just stain and it will look disgusting. I wish I could have taught teenage Poison that, but for some reason I thought, oh, they will blend in with my teeth. No. Also, Poison, your teeth weren't white enough to blend in with those elastics at the very start even. I'm now going on a weird journey of teenage Poison, and just puberty in general is just awful. But anyways, let's get back on the flower talk, because we went from staff building talk, which for some reason needed a waterfall, to flower talk, and then deviating into Poison was a weird teenager. I mean, I've carried on that weirdness. Well, weirdness, maybe it has transformed into chaos, but there's still definitely some things wrong in the upper cavities. Anyways, let's go back to the flower talk, because for me, sunflowers and roses especially are like just base flowers. Like they are sort of the basic flowers that you start off with. But for some reason, I mean, I get it, because Planet Zoo started with like animals from all over the world. So it makes only sense to also have flowers from all over the world. But in 2 years, no sunflowers. No roses. And like the roses in Planet Coaster, because I'm going to relate back to a game that also had sunflowers and had roses, the roses in Planet Coaster were a godsend. Like, maybe it's like, oh, nostalgia speaking, but just the roses in Planet Coaster were so versatile. I used those things for everything. Because you could not only recolor the flowers and like the leaves, but you could also recolor the stems. So if you wanted roses, you could have roses in all colors. You could have them pink, purple, red, blue, yellow. I don't like yellow roses, but I for some reason very much like blue roses. The look of them. I don't really like getting flowers because I have the touch of death when it comes to flowers. Not so much other plants. There's legitimately a plant in my room right now that I have been neglecting intentionally, and it doesn't die. For some reason, I don't want to throw it away if it's alive, but if it's dead, I want to throw it away. And at this point, I'm just like proud of that plant, because I've like forgotten to water it for a month and it's still going strong. I watered it just because it was just like, yeah, you're going to live, so why should I try and kill you? I'm, again, talking about a plant. YouTube, don't come for me. Actually, do come for me, because I want to actually get demonetized for once. I've tried to kill that plant. It has survived. So now it's just like, you're just going to stay here. But yeah, when it comes to the rose plants or the rose bushes in Planet Coaster, those things were just, you could use them everywhere. Sink them into the ground and you have like the small flowers, like sort of dandelion looking things, and turn them all, like all of the color swatches, you turn them brown and you have like some of those tumbleweeds, I think is the name, because they tumble across the ground, so that's how I remembered it. But like those tumbleweeds that you see in every cowboy movie when there's like a shootout happening, or just when nothing is happening, because they're also a icon for just nothing. But you could use those rose bushes for everything. And I want them in Planet Zoo, because right now you can make a lot of plants, a lot of flowers by combining other flowers. It will not look exactly like the actual flower that you're trying to mimic, but you can get very close. Romano put out a workshop item with like a lot of flowers that he combined existing plants that we have and made it look like another plant that we don't have. But it would have been just so much easier if, like, instead of combining 50 plants into one lavender looking plant, to actually have just a lavender plant or a rose bush. And again, we have a rose bush in game, but it's non-recolorable, and it's, you know, I want my Planet Coaster rose bush. I would actually be fine if like the rose bush that we have in game would turn recolorable, and Planet Zoo has shown that they could go back to existing pieces and make them recolorable, because they have done that with other building pieces. So Planet Zoo, could you turn the flowers that we have recolorable, please? I think I just lost all my credibility with that please. Not that I had any credibility, mind you, but yeah, that's I want to have more recolorable flowers and just more basic bitch flowers. Is there any other points to today's video? Not really. So to sum it all up, this staff area was staff building was very necessary, because my staff basically became Olympic joggers with the amount of time that they had to spend walking everywhere. I want basic bitch flowers that scream at the cashier or cashier. I think cashier is like English, or cashier. Anyway, let's move on from that. But I just want my basic bitch flowers that scream for pumpkin spice lattes. And then Poison was a weird teenager. Have an amazing day, guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more. Putting a like on this video really helps out a lot with pushing this video into this mystical thing that's called the algorithm, that we will never understand and will inevitably take over our lives as a sentient AI. And then there's the notification button. That one won't take over the world, because it's just as broken as everything in the world today. Anyways, have a wonderful day, guys, and I will see you in the next video, which will be a habitat sort of pre-built for the new pack, for the wetlands pack. So anyways, again, have a wonderful day, guys. Bye-bye.
I thought I had everything, all the things life could bring. But now I do anything just to be together now. Yes, it's a new situation, triggered by physical vibrations. So many feels in circulation, and the past is history now. And I believe I was made for you, you were meant for me. Now's the time, so I've got to tell you now.